Alright, 대바 진비기 주님의 심자 탐지기 되는 산지고방 토발라 네 대바 진비기 주님의 진마도 산지고방 두두 말에 지상 대바 진비 주님의 지오레스 대바 진비 주님의 이름바 된비게다 되네 안당보 대바 진비람 님의 제발 공로 전주 심지 심바시 고고레스 현자다 되네 야 준주기 대바 진비람 이름바 된데 당보 그런데 전주 심지 판 전주 심 되게 편시 봐서지 어디 된 마음 저
Good evening. So in order to be able to practice the Mahayana Dharma, which is what one needs to cultivate within oneself in order to attain enlightenment for the sake of others, in order to practice this Mahayana Dharma, one has to generate bodhicitta. And in order to generate bodhicitta, one has to be very aware of the tremendous benefits of bodhicitta so that one develops a burning desire within to cultivate bodhicitta oneself. So for this reason, in the first chapter of the Bodhisattva, engaging the Bodhisattva's way of life, Shantideva presents the benefits of bodhicitta.
그래서 전주 심계 편시 전주 심계 편시 받다 되네 전주 sembal야 안 되봐 나바고 저 봐서 지가 보여 봐서 돼 진짜 전주 sem바 되게 전주 심디베 마세게다 제게 라신니가라 판도체 뭐제셈 상부나는 초도 줘봐 나 산지게 고방 토벌집에 람안 냠랭이 조로지 전주 심디게 지긴다 전주 심디 시호직 연대의 템바레 제세 되네게 전주심 냠린 난겐 전주심 바티기 빼야고리 사지다 방가고 줘버 바레 사지 가상도다 니는마 주고로와
The vast majority of the verses in this chapter present the benefits of bodhicitta so that one does give rise to this yearning to generate bodhicitta within oneself. Then the last number of verses, the part we are at now, is looking at those who have not only generated the inspiration to cultivate bodhicitta within them, but who successfully have done so. Because for us ourselves now, having heard all the benefits of bodhicitta and given rise to some degree of aspiration to cultivate bodhicitta, we here now, in this latter section of the chapter, look at those bodhisattvas, those who possess this remarkable mind of bodhicitta. And this part of the text then praises those who have cultivated bodhicitta.
안은 전주심 공부할래는 수남 딜레 채와 제사요 말 제사 전주심도 수남 전부 쌓고를 해야 돼. 디마즈 되니기 인자다 되니기 전주심 대지단에 가지고 판윤디 열애시 직시와 안 되네요. 저는 전주심 봤어야 되는 거 보여 봐래. 외부 김전 가르치나 지당 가지고 파시엘이야 펜베지도 아니 펜지 로봇이네. 아니 제마 아니 미디기 추원들이야 로봇 제바나 어디에 약고래셔야 되니 님하고 로봇 제바디 그용할이야 디기 지금 로봇 제비미 차블 중할이야 주술래 로봇 약고 제송해야 돼 미디 빼약고래셔야 되는 거 하고 주기로 와서 어디 제바 나신당 전주 선바셔야 돼 나들이야 나지기 파판 마도 바이네야 아니 로봇 지로제마 파 말아바이나다 랑게로 판마도 바이나 제시선바디기 만주 동화세에 디기 주비할래 간줄에 판도거래 되네서 다 제시선바세에 되네기 제시선 냠는지랑 아주 판도바자 되네기 다 지게 제시선바들은 나고 외바를 약보를 성보를 약보를 생각하고 외바를 와서 제도 두시네 아주 계신 디고 쉬러와
The two verses we looked at last week, verses 30 and 31, we looked at how nothing can compare to bodhicitta for the cultivation of merit. Moreover, we looked at how beings in the world are praised when they repay the kindness that they have been shown, when they do good in return for kindness that they have received. But bodhisattvas are way more remarkable than such activity in that they do good for no apparent reason. They don't need to be shown a kindness in order to repay the kindness. They willingly, wholeheartedly from their side aid beings whenever they can, in every way they can. There's no need for their aid to be requested. They readily, spontaneously are there to help others in need. So therefore, for such a quality, Bodhisattvas are praised. Turning to the 32nd verse, those who regularly give food to just a few beings, giving meager food sufficient for only a meal or perhaps half a day, and do so with disdain and scorn, are praised by beings saying how virtuous you are. So this is an illustration. The illustration is presented in the first line, those who regularly give food to just a few beings. So a few beings here we can understand as maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe even 100 people. And giving them food regularly would be perhaps for a month or a year. So the first line sets out the illustration.
지난 기직 세대 기직 마세들에 지탕로지 기직마라 균링로 먹보여봐 안지게 기직만 지 통통다 링하다 먹고는 근데 제가 기직 세대 나도 뒤 통통으로 지시고다 뒤 균링보 쇼면 봐 뒤 통통질이야 세지고 진발에서 변에 다오직 스텝에 기직소 기직 다오직 링을 제발해서다 then logic 스텝에 logic 링을 제발해서 뒤수 기직 되는 지를 기직 마세야 도시네 베네 뒤뒤 끼지 마세다 자소비 끼지 마세다 지야요를 끼지 마 레레지 고수제 마차보도야지 끼지 마세요 베나 저기 다등하는 저 지금 아주 친인자 고수로와 대등한 고수네 다들 주지지다 차가 봐도 마차봐도 디안 자소비 끼지 마지 자와지 고좀네 주 마차봐도 안에 끼지 마지 써야지 자소비 끼지 마 자소비 끼지 리와 삼다다 먼저 준주 전부 티야 고주네 제마 준주주 마차 차야도 레가지 고주네 쭉 찾아내지 자소 몇 개지 마서 되네 지야 거로 어디 나이신데 개지 마서야지 그런 게세 밀리아 제세 진바디 그런 제 고주네다 그런 다오직이나 로직이나 마차 봐도 되네 게 뒤수질이야 지거래시 계직해야 돼 계직해야 돼세 진바 점스도 세점마도 칼라점마도 안 현다기 나지기 면주다 디니기 돈에 두로다 디니기 안지 타바다 탐제 캠핑에 남등에 탑람 가야 띠매바 칼라점 제바데 소래 점 진벌 제바스.
Looking at the second line, giving meager food sufficient for only a meal. So here we can understand, so meager food, this would refer to merely giving food or only giving food. One's not giving clothing or medical care. One certainly isn't presenting the paths to liberation. One is merely only giving food. And what we have translated as, or what I've translated as only for a meal, So this we can better understand as for a specific period, perhaps just for one day, perhaps just for one meal, or perhaps over a specific period of time. For example, if one has people working on a project, and one then commits, whilst you're working on this project, which will take a few months, I will supply you with food whilst you're at work. So a specific period, whether it's a meal or a week or a month. So this is, again, expanding on the illustration, setting out the parameters, that all that is being given is merely food and for a specific period of time.
지게 구십도 매배 하네 아니까 즉 dus 주다 되게 도신 제바들 녀지 녀바제바 근데 야칼라사서 니 마트네 켜서 사야라사 마라와사 되게 칼라 네 마트바네 켜서 칼라사야라사 마라와선 식디네 비지 단전도 코스두신 지금 넘주러지 야고라 마제 구십도 되면 마트바제 두스티에 저어바드네 녀지 녀지 사디시소래 다 인체에서 대야는 저게 다 칼라제 사야야 이미 체가로 오시마도 안지 공다 제 차사 좀 매바체 아니 이미 체가로지 다 닝고 칼라로 제베지네나 공다 칼라제마다 칼라제 세도로 되니지 인체 삼 녀지 인체 장벌 제바야스.
The third line continues with illustration. Perhaps half a day and do so with disdain and scorn. So again, we see that the meal, again, if it's perhaps over a period of time where someone is working for you, you feed them whilst they're at work, but only whilst they're at work, not when they then go home. And one does so with an attitude of disdain and scorn, perhaps either without showing any respect for the person you're engaging with, or even looking down on them, thinking, if it wasn't for me and my generosity, for me and the employment I'm giving you, you wouldn't be able to eat. So with a really disdainful attitude, this offering is made.
And then, 메치기 아니고 미 망부질이야 칼라제도 이거라 나마 무티네 제바세나 오기 기지 섬침바세디 군 무티네 제바세는 무티네 균은 무티알 고고로와 지난 기지 섬라도야 뒤슈 통노지고도 디니디 가다 채고서 베섬미로와 디네 말 무티세디 다와치 무티 제바는 무티 제바 나마침바 로직 무티 제바나 는 미시 코랑 무티 제바네다 나마침바스로와 지난다 기직세디 뒤디 고수네 마서바디 뒤통노라지 데네게 지라 기직삼 지고레스 디네 제디 갑래야 아니 칼라 잠제와 마도신 아니 지게 가이마테나 칼라 잠제 디야 아니 지게 바 아니 지게 구샵다 덴바 미덴베 하는 두스테야다 안데야 아니 지게 칼라제 사야디야 아니 지기 저거 따다 이미 직 차가스마다 지 타임에는 되네 안 인체에서도 있다 닝고서 공다 당 마다야지 마다 되네 제베네 되네 안는 지고래 제와 제게 제켄디 다 되네 지고래 되네 제여도 안다 가르쳐선 안 미치 개와 제바 인시 기회 구르스 개와 제바 인시 기회 구르스도 그 콘줄야 칼라테지 베 개와 약보사고 약보 지기도 와서 세네면 뛰어가 던 거로 와서 미스게 돼 될이야.
In brief, the meaning of the illustration is that whether someone makes an offering of say food, whether continuously or regularly for a extended period, perhaps for a month or even a year, or whether the offering is made just for a single meal. And the offering is one of just mere ordinary food, nothing special, and also nothing more than just giving some food, and done with an attitude lacking respect and possibly even with disdain. A person engaging in such behavior, though, would still be praised by others, saying how virtuous you are for what you are doing. You are feeding these people. Really, what you're doing is so good. So the person is actually praised despite the offer being either for a limited period, whether a day or a month or a year, and just being food, nothing more, yet the person is praised.
제가 니지 진바시데 당한 저기 근데 용도와 당한 저기 지게 나디와 대샤라메 와당한 저기 아직 내고디와도 니지서 잠대어도 방고 교망 원래도 진짜서 대야지 상가점의 휴지 길래야 되는 것도 방어디게 마 야고시 되게 메다세진 야고 마데네 되게 메센 파 소담라 따진 지고로 와데 이 구시다 덴베테네 되게 말와 제가 니지 진바세 뒤로 최고로 와다 니지 진바세 콘돌리아 지게 소담라다 직주부를 라기라기지네 방고 현재 야고시 마데네 되게 메 세제 두스네 지고로 와 그래서 니지 진바세 베로 되네 최고로 와
So one could really imagine this happening, perhaps with the illustration of giving food to a beggar on the side of the road and giving them the food because one knows they're hungry, but doing so with an attitude of disdain, which you may express or certainly hold inside, thinking, oh, if you'd only give up your bad habits, if you'd only pull yourself up by your bootstraps, then you wouldn't be in this pitiful situation. So yeah, one is making an offering, but one's attitude is one of disdain and disrespect.
저기 다들 되게 배라 샤가네 녀마디와 나 지게 미사치리아 안에 요거 먹고요. 요거 미스코로 요거 주디게. 되네 이제 지나기 칼라로 지게 코스코로 미스코로 요거 주 내가 칼라 지고와 칼라데도 내가 소래 아니 디수 욕버디기 간주 진다래 간주로 욕부지라고 야고 지고서 뛰어가라 등고로 와데 진짜 디로시 간주 배로 되네잖아 간주로야 차디에 저로 와데 되네기 안 지 되네 되네 진다해서 욕버디기를 초담다야다 되네 지게 레가 먹고야 다 되네 지게 초담을 당진 지고로 와데 네게 진짜 니지 신바세 안 되네게 칼라 다다 저거 장 다다 마데바 지게 뉴뉴로 맞으면 되는데 저거 자야 다다라고 말와 근데 내게 용시바라 당주 두시네 진짜 내게 별이야 내게 되네 지금 제뒤 갑라니 파지게 구셔다 덴비톤에 지고 말레스 또 날디서 제뒤 갑라 칼라디 무디지는 거나 다워직잖아 로직제베나 무디진 지고어데 이네 지 구셔다 덴비톤에 지고 말디 안에 니면 지금 고다다 차상 나와제요 뭐 저자투야지요 말레스 니니지마 지고 말디 이네 그 디니기 제바래 약보래세네 그 개와 약보 주도 진배 약보 당기도 와서 미치게 누시네 아니 영화 당기도 와서 그러다 된다 빼로시
And another illustration, which from the past, these days is not so common, but in the past, middle class or wealthier families would commonly have servants at home, or house servants. So the house servants, whilst working, they would also be fed, and but they would almost certainly not be fed the same food as the owners of the house. And they would only be fed whilst working. So for whilst working and whilst in their employ. So therefore, it was for a limited period. And one can imagine in such relationships, there would have been an attitude of superiority towards the subordinates, the inferiors who did the cooking and the cleaning in the home. So here, and also the act of giving was nothing more than meager rations. So we can see here how these various aspects of the illustration would work very well in such when recalling such relationships.
The
33rd verse. How much more so those who give constantly for all eternity to countless sentient beings, the peerless happiness of the Tathagatas, completely fulfilling their heart's every wish.
Simjan Jangta Yela Sidida, Janju Sembigi Jimbata Jimbi Nyamne Ched, Simjan Tamjela. semjen tam je zhang le ya ta ye ba shi zhang ge di se zhang ge me ya shi je zang ta ye ba semjen tam je de na sam mi xie ne du xin ne jin bi nyam ne nang go res na ha za da mi yu di jin ba da sa ge yu di semjen zhang ta ye ba semjen tam je cha de ye re je de ji pe cha di jin ba da sa yu di yu mi ya cha so chi nyu chi ru wa da de chen shu sen ba gi jin ba da sa yu di ga sen semjen zhang le de ba zhang ta ye ba je semjen ta je tam je le du shi re de re je zhang ta ye ba ane du se di deji du ke chi chi du ke chi mo ko lo chi na da wa chi sen ring na mi se chi sam da wa da du se di du ring du se de semjen tham je sang je go ma to ji ba do jin be nyam le nang ko re du le ma so na semjen tham je sang je go ma to ji ba do de ne chi de du ring bo shi wo re
The 33rd verse compares the situation that was presented in the 32nd verse with that of Bodhisattvas. So for Bodhisattvas, with such a vast different motivation and level of skill, what they give is incomparable to ordinary beings. So the first line in Tibetan is the second line in the translation, for all eternity to countless sentient beings. So in the illustration before, we saw that the offering was made to a select number of beings, perhaps 10, perhaps 20, perhaps 100. But whilst from an ordinary perspective, this is seen as quite a number, compared to a bodhisattva, it's incomparable. A bodhisattva works for the welfare of each and every sentient being, countless sentient beings. There is no limit to the number of beings that a bodhisattva is working for. So that is already vastly different from the situation for ordinary beings. And then in terms of the time period we have here for all eternity. So with an ordinary being, their supplying of support is for a specific period. Maybe they're offering just a particular meal, or for a week or a month, or as long as the project or employment lasts. But for a bodhisattva, they are working for each and every sentient being until they attain their own enlightenment. And as sentient beings are countless in number, they are always, for all eternity, working for sentient beings, helping them attain enlightenment, hence for all eternity.
se zama se dang gong lia an jing ne gap se dang gui dang an ji tun jian me la so ba dang di to ba chi bi ge wei nyam ning jin ba ma dian ji du ma dian dang ta du an sang ye gyun gun se yuan dian gu da dian bi ge an de wa sang ji go fang di de wa la na me ba sang ji go fang di pa kon zu lia zhe go le se de jing go le se.
The second line in the Tibetan, the peerless happiness of the Tathagatas. So this is then contrasting what ordinary beings give. Things like meager food, clothing, medicine, material phenomena that just last momentarily. What a bodhisattva gives is the guidance that leads beings to the attainment of Buddhahood. This is the greatest of gifts. So in the previous line, we looked at the comparison towards the number of beings, as well as for the duration of support. Now in this line, we look at what is being given, and what is being given is the guidance that leads to the attainment of the happiness or the bliss of the Tathagatas.
yu jimba da yu di semjan ya la chi ya chi de ni chi re da da janju sembe gi jimba da yu di semjan tham je re zhang da ta ye ba semjan tham je re ji da ji zan jimba da yu ni le de xie wa kya ba du shuo wa wa janju sembe yu de o di na xin da be di bi ga so da jimba da de se zam jimba da wa re se se zam jimba da go re chi re ka so re du su de ko du ri ki chi ma du ka so Koran Dawachina, Lodge Kashina, Missy, Dini, Tuntumado, Yawa Chimada, Chimada, you Merwada, Denishimado Yomares. Janju Sembigi, Jimbi, Yamen, Jimbata, Duty, Simjan Tamja Sanji go on Mado Vibardures. She said, Do you see Chanagana? She Hoji Kaba the part Shadures. Now, Jimbata Gungoborna, the Jichedi, Jimbata Yungobo said some colors, Mato, said some Jimbarua. That the Janju Sembigi Jimbata. Jiki sedan, sedan, gueda, lu, longjugi, chasada, and maze, and the corner, tabata, tamjikim, bokovangi, tobaji, lam yamling rimba teada, tadu, and gyun gunzi, yenda gunda tembigi, and sanji gofantia, kolia, and tobajigo, horselia, dusnangore, Cesar, the name Zada, Janjusim bigi, Jimbi, Yamlin Jedi, Jimbata, Yudita, Gachewa, Gachembo, and Dile Gachewa Meba. Janjusim bigi, Jimbe, Yamlin Jibi, Dudia, Dile Durinwa Yomare. Then Janjusim bigi, Jimbata, Yobo, Jimbi, Obotia, Dile Chapat Papa, Sanji Gobale, Dile Habat, Meva was, Cesar, the Nigel Habat, Duchin, Janjusim bigi, Jimbi, Yamlus Nangor, Egere. She said, and did she read that day? She read.
The contrast between ordinary beings and bodhisattvas should be abundantly clear. Ordinary beings just give to a few and exclude many, but a bodhisattva gives to all sentient beings without exception, countless in number, whereas when ordinary beings help, the enumeration is very clear, whereas when a bodhisattva gives, they give to all uncountable beings. Moreover, when ordinary beings provide support, there is a very limited period in which they are prepared to give. It may be just for this meal, or it may be until a project or a contract is complete. But a bodhisattva has no such limitation in their giving. They will give guidance to each and every being until that being attains their own perfected state of enlightenment. And moreover, what ordinary beings give, it doesn't last in the sense that the need of those that they are providing to are not completely fulfilled. Once the act of giving stops, the being still has needs, whereas a bodhisattva gives the perfected state of enlightenment, and when that has been fully given, in terms of the guidance fully given, the being's needs are completely fulfilled in that they have attained the peerless happiness of the Tathagatas. So in this way, we come to see the great contrast between what an ordinary being can give and what a bodhisattva can give.
Yila samba tada zoje ba sidede jiza da semjengi yila samba de karela na semjen namje dunga midyo ba chirwa koran chasan sammun hala dunga de gogu midyo samborwa ani dewa de gogu ba dewa de gorwa jiza dewa de ba da dunga midyo ba inde semjengi dewa dirwa jiza yila di samgorwa semjong jiza di samba na jen janyu sembegi nyamlengi jimbi nyamlengi ji koran solya ani jige lam nyamli rimba de 타바단 탐지 캠비 고방 토바 제도 토바 제도 아니 고라지기 일에서 타바다 탐지 캠비 고방 토바 제 람냠리 림바테도 뉴모바 빵바 제바다 동을 마메 봐줘야다 님보테 곰주 아니 곰발레테네 아니 중요모 빵이도 대화라나 메바디 투고르와 지산 디 토변도 고라지기 대바디 누구어로바다 지산 대화 조바제바 지산 샘쟁이 일라 삼바 타다 조바제바 일라 삼바 타다 세도 동아 차사 매버 되바디야 매버 되바 나지 매버 쇠 투야다 아니 띵이 대화 되바 나지 기디네 대화 되바 나신 대화도 주바제고 바자 대화 타다 니 삼바 탐지 조바지고 그래서.
The third line in the Tibetan, completely fulfilling their heart's every wish. All beings without exception want to experience only happiness, want to be freed from even a moment of suffering. And whilst what ordinary beings can give does bring about some temporary happiness and alleviate some minor discomfort, it's incomparable to what the Bodhisattva gives. Because what the Bodhisattva gives is the guidance and the example and the guidance that by which beings come to develop the paths of the Dharma in their own continuum. These paths which bring about great happiness and lead to a lessening of suffering that beings experience until the point where the afflictions together with their seeds are completely abandoned and the state of lasting stable happiness is attained. This is what Bodhisattvas give. So that our deepest yearning of wanting to abide in lasting happiness, our deepest heart wish, this is what Bodhisattvas give.
道德经别大心没去过是道德经别，就像讲句什么的个，那个年龄人吧，对道德你们记得道讲落下些嘛人吧，对道德都是现在他们家上几个国方马头一半都是呢，经别年龄都是能过的，就是那玩意子，那能个子。大心没是，那个能看到讲句什么的了，当然呢，对俺结合吧的，对俺结果的话，你们工作了对俺嘛，真的数了结果的是，你些大心没是的，大心没是，你们是结果还是俺把的结果吧，其实是我说的。
And the final line in the Tibetan, which is our first line, how much more so those who give constantly. So Bodhisattvas, they give until each and every sentient being attains their own enlightenment. Until, therefore, they give constantly easing the burden of suffering of beings. And as beings attain, being after being attains their own enlightenment, this doesn't mean the Bodhisattva stops giving, because they will still remain suffering beings to whom they give. So who is comparable to this? No being is comparable to a bodhisattva. It is only the bodhisattvas. It is only those who have bodhicitta in their mind who give in this way.
ane chige ane tangne ane lam nyamling rinpa tarpa tamche kempi gopang khonsu le tokpa gyule kye tuya ke lam nyamling rinpa kye che tenche khonsu ane sanje gopang ya gui gore goba jigo res ndu sen jigo re dine kuya du ane korang zuge semche korang zuge deva di dunga se de tang dewa dhudi pe deva di yonsu zobar jigo re chesa dine kinsa semche 뒤 다도 안 자주 생각되게 semchen 탐제 상교 고방 마서게 봐도 안 지게 말로 상교 고방 마서 더 마서게 봐도 두신 냠는 능고레스 세제 되네 두신 자주 생각이다 되네기 냠는 이름바 두신 능고레 세제 두시 시드 되네 해서다 자주 생각돼 아 저게 자주 생각이 지금 되네 통제 될래야 안 지게 뱀 basi yakbo shivu chi nangdo pe yakbo re sanpeke sungara zuge anjige andele je imen je da ane jige jesu iran je ya andele pe yakbo re sene deba puya odu shegwe di yin barwa se woda shegu go re se woda.
These two verses then contrast ordinary beings with bodhisattvas. We see that bodhisattvas have as their object of care countless sentient beings, each and every one without exception. And whilst bodhisattvas do give fulfill the material needs of beings, they primarily guide beings to cultivate in their own continuums the paths that will lead to liberation and enlightenment, and will continue to care for beings even after the paths have been developed until those paths are perfected. And they do so, and by doing so, they fulfill every heart wish of beings, which is to attain a state of lasting happiness. And beings who have bodhicitta in their continuum will continue to work for suffering mother beings until each and every one attains enlightenment. There is no limit to their activity. There is no limit to their giving. Recognizing this ourselves and recognizing the qualities of bodhicitta, naturally a deep reverence will arise within us for those whom are guided by bodhicitta. And accompanying this reference will be a determination to help them in their performance or the fulfillment of their heart wish, which is to benefit beings in the most meaningful of ways. And accompanying that will be the determination that we ourselves develop bodhicitta.
Tuda number of some Sanjay Matogi Bado Shingi Dana Panto Dugo Pay Yabore, Sempeki, Jesu Irache, Tanganzu Nea, Jensen Batisugi, Yamlen Nawa, Shinchi, Nina, the Nigging, Yamlen Chito, or Show, said Molam Jada, and then Jesu Irada, Molam Jaya, and then Rangi Nea, the Niki, and then Chick. Jensen Yamlen Jabana, the Nigging Yamlen, Jigin Sepiki, Dumbajada, Tanganzu Duchene, Anzugi. Some down where the Shahorvada.
So what we should take from these verses and all we've been looking at, where we've been looking at over many weeks the various qualities of bodhicitta, and now more recently praising those who possess bodhicitta, who have given rise to bodhicitta. So what we should take from this is repeatedly continue to reflect on the qualities, the good qualities of bodhicitta, and see, as well as then conjoining that with seeing how bodhisattvas live their lives, how bodhisattvas strive ceaselessly for the welfare of others, helping beings in all ways, both ordinary, but in particular helping them with what's most meaningful, the cultivation of the paths to enlightenment in their own continuum. And moreover, the bodhisattvas never tire of this. There is no limit to their giving of themselves to others. They ceaselessly and in innumerable ways give to beings. So we reflect on this, the quality of bodhicitta, as well as the qualities of those who have given rise to bodhicitta, so as to give rise in our own mind to a determination to join the bodhisattvas in their wholesome endeavors by cultivating bodhicitta in our own continuum.
Anjigi Janjusim Gula Gye Gyawaza, Digi Topki Yamlin Chigorwa, Janjusim Gula Gya, Janjusim Gula Magavana, the Yontu Merwa, Janjusim Gul Yamlin Cheche, Janjusim Gula Gyawaza, Janjusim Bachabare, Janjusim Bachadu, and do that number Kundu, Shania, Pember to be Pembike, Deniki Janyu to Gorwa, Deneza Anzuya, Delia, and the Jig, Deniki is two, and then some. Conju Yende the Yangazu, some Nalia, and they didn't Nangor was a bit to Shina Tabo, that Jevarush, Jehomrush, Jevarush, then do Jerusalem began, Jig, Mu, some Tamjelo to Chigore, and the Jimbata, the Luloja, Soda, Jeba, and Tar, San Yoko was a Tobar Chigore, and they are do that Tado, and the San Yoko, some Janam, San Yoko, Tomasi, about do the Neji, Nangores, the Bear Arbores, and Big, the Nigger, some Tane. Yunden di tone, Janju Sembi Yunden Jen, and Dele and the Jesu Iraje, and Rangi in Identity, Jetuba, Yamlin Jetuba, Chiki, Kumtuba, Chikin Sembi, and Dubaye, and those Chenazuke, some diety, Denishi, some time, Tangazuki, Yamlin Jehoide, Denerva, the nigger some time with Hone, Tangazuine. Janju Sem Gula, Dangaya, Janju Sangarina, Janju Semba Chawu, Janju Semba Chabala, that the Nigi, Janju Semba Nazin Yamne Jabal, Janju Semba Chawu, Janju Semba Chabala, Gula, Janju Sem Gula, Gil, who was the Niki was that, Janju Sem Gula, Gilwana, and the Ganeski Orelana, Jizada, Dambonga, Juga Dashen, Jiranda, Shen, Rang Chizin, some like Yunda, Shen Chizin, Sembi Yundian, Dene, and the Shen Chizin, Telecomiada. 데니시 셈제 담제 동안다 대화의 대나 셈베기 잠보콤 셈제 담제 동안다 다나 쇼스베 니제콤 데네 셈제 담제 동안다 자와다 대화의 덴바데 니지기 셈베기 라산남다디콤 데닝에 데자다 데니 제발라 산요고바 마톰다 탑면데 데자 셈제 담제 돈달이야 산요고바 토브로쇼 셈베기다 데니게 고미야디 다 나주기 데니게 다디디 시티 나주기 얌렌 제베게 퇴비게 돈다게 삼다네 나주 냠솔라디 데니게 제때지 검고야디 다 예심 못하고로 와.
These varying points of meditation that have been presented over this chapter, we need to keep cultivating, keep repeating the meditation so as to develop a yearning to develop bodhicitta within ourselves. And this comes about through recognizing the remarkable qualities of bodhicitta and those beings who possess it, the bodhisattvas. So we need to reflect on this again and again so that we develop a yearning to emulate these remarkable beings and emulate them in terms of their activities under the guidance of this mind of bodhicitta, knowing that in that way we can be of real transformative impact in the lives of others. So we need to reflect on these good qualities of bodhicitta and the bodhisattvas again and again. And to the extent that we develop this yearning to become a bodhisattva, we need to continue to reflect on these good qualities of bodhicitta so that that yearning becomes stable within us. And whenever this yearning arises within us in meditation, then that is the good point to embark on your meditation on the steps to cultivate bodhicitta. So in this text, it starts with then reflecting on the faults of grasping at oneself as dear, and thereafter the benefits of holding others as dear. Then, when one is developing a feeling of closeness towards all, one cultivates love and compassion, the wish, may all beings abide in lasting happiness, freed of suffering entirely, and develop these minds of love and compassion again and again to the point where it feels unsatisfactory to have our love and compassion as a mere wish. And we develop a determination where we take responsibility for the welfare of others, where having a mere wish is insufficient. And we develop the determination that I take responsibility for the welfare of others. And that is the attitude of universal responsibility, the altruistic attitude of universal responsibility. Thereafter we recognize, but right now, I'm a very ordinary person. I'm struggling to take care of myself, let alone of others. I have to develop myself. I need to transform my mind so that I can be focused on others, and not only that, but that I can engage with them in a skillful manner, in a manner perfectly in accordance with their own needs and background, which means I have to develop myself to the state of Buddhahood. This is imperative. Oops. And at that point then, one generates bodhicitta, the determination to become a Buddha for the sake of others.
네네. 다른 자다도 당을 저기 전주샘비 전주샘기 연대 아니 계셔 나 지금 디간이야 다 다도며 받는 지어에 송와와 안디나 진다 전주샘바기 연대 전주샘바기 계셔의 연대인데 요래서데 다 진에 전주샘나 전주샘 될야네 전주샘발이야 연대다 디는 수송와데 다 그와 김전로지 조로 송고베 김전 가르람나다 될라 된다니 용거래 당하서 ngāngzhūgyūla jāngshūsēm māgyēba tīgēliyā, tā ngāngzhūliyā jī jāngshūsēm yuñdē tōng nē, dēliyā, jizā yuñdē tōng yudu, dēliyā tī tōkūdū sēmbi dūmbakīyā. Jizā jāngshūsēm bēgi yuñdē tōng yudu, o tā ngāyā jāngshūsēm bā nāshīn chāgūdū sēm bēgi dūnyēl kī dūmbakīyā. Dēnē kī dūnyēl yuñdē jāngshūsēm nā, jāngshūsēm bēgi yuñdē tōng na, dēliyā yīmēn kī dēlā dūnyēl dūmbakīyā du, di 도벽이 냠는 진행하는 주기라 전시심 깨다 전시심 깨나 전시심을 차두고 차고로와 대행자 당한 전시심 맞게 봐줘라 마 전시심 밖에 된다라 델리아 되니 듬바께다 디께 발라 되는 전시심 곰제 전시심 귤게 된다라 전시심 받아 전시심기 편연시바도 임산직들이.
So in this chapter, we've looked at many qualities of bodhicitta, and now we're looking at the qualities of the bodhisattvas. So the reason to engage in this reflection is firstly, and there are two. The first is that we as practitioners are yet to generate bodhicitta. So in order to do so, we need to see the qualities, not merely have heard them or merely be able to repeat them back if asked, but to reflect on those qualities, reflect what it would be like to be a bodhisattva, what it would be like for ourselves, and the benefit that we would have on others. Thank you. The benefit that we would have on others. In this way, then, we start to develop a sincere yearning to generate bodhicitta within ourselves, to be able to be of true benefit to others. So this, then, is the first reason to reflect on the qualities of bodhicitta and bodhisattvas, to generate a yearning and thereafter a determination to become a bodhisattva ourselves.
나 김제 니버르비 디용으로바다 근데 전시 sempa 냠는 지gen 전시 sempa다 전시 sempa 레 당보와 전시 sempa 솔람 충어되길이야 전시 sem 냠는 지디 갈래요로바다 오네 지게 현리에 팬비게 주셔야 판도 두고도 겁라야 현 semjen 지게 코로 초보 네 제가 망고체게 지구 연구로 봐 다데네게 지게 진변 냠는 제다 안지현래 팬버 두고도 안지게 파래 야고 가세세나 안출이야 안지 견제제다 뇌견제다 안데네게 망고 연구로 되는데도 아직 셈슈 차액이 냥아여로 와다 오다딩이 판도 건설때 판도 제메지 판도 제 판도 주투사 말에서 비 셈슈 차액이 냥아 연구로 와 데네게 연구여 봐자 안델이야 셈슈 마차액이 셈 균템보지 무티지 공백이 전주 무지지 냠는 제고레스 제투약이 된다고 송고를 때가서는 장주스님이 파연되는데 요레스 제가 장주스님께 파연되네 딜레 학바지 매바래 장주스님바디게 현는주에 딜레 학바지 현는주가 지 매바래 지난 셈상보 초도규 봐 장주스님네 학바지 매 현례 판도주견 나 가사 망보 예배나네 장주스님바의 판도를 야가지매 되네 인자다 되네게 냠는 제발에 되네 semjen tamje sangye sala ko tugoore pemba du tugoore jiza rangni semjen tamje sangye ko ba top tuwa ma se semjen tamje sangye ko ba top ko tugoore jiza denigi jenju sem pemba sa de dile la ba jiyo ma da jenju sem nyamnen cheba dile dile ya ba jene jenju sem ba de jendu ga sa na ne shen le pemba du ken da jenju sem ba le la ba jiyo ma de sem na ne jenju sem le la ba jiyo ma de ne isa di nyamnen che de pe ma se dile la ba jiyo da de nga ju le yo ba di 무디제 냠 공부를 딴 거도 기회침부 휴리스 제자다 셈제 상제 공부 톱셔야 돼요 전시 셈곰 전시 셈바니 디기 토고를 마다 셴데 토고요 말이스 제자 상제 공부 토고야 되라 데니스 토고레스 제자 데니자 뺏기 침부 휴치레 세제 데니기 전시 셈나 전시 셈비 케셔의 연된 데니 송네 아니 전시 셈 냠는 제hen디길에 전시 셈발레 당보 데니게 도스네 도스야직 어다든 강아 체등이 되스 갈래 가등이 질이야 셈쇼데 닝독기하게 dost은 어디 숨고래
Reflecting on the qualities of bodhicitta and the qualities of bodhisattvas is important for those who are yet to generate bodhicitta. So that's the first reason to engage in the meditation. The second reason is for those who have newly generated bodhicitta. So for them, it's important to continue to do this meditation because when bodhicitta has newly been generated, it's fragile. And it's fragile because of the challenges that bodhisattvas encounter. When bodhicitta has newly arisen within the now new bodhisattva, the young bodhisattva, when they then embark on beneficial deeds for beings, they will experience ingratitude. They'll be taken advantage of, and they'll encounter problems and difficulties one after the other. And when their bodhicitta is not yet stable, whilst it still is new and therefore fragile, it may be lost. So therefore, for new bodhisattvas too, they need to meditate again and again in the same way that they had been meditating in order to generate bodhicitta, reflecting on the qualities of bodhicitta and of their now fellow bodhisattvas, so that their recognition that there is no more precious mind than bodhicitta, there is no more sacred mind than bodhicitta, becomes stable within them. When the bodhicitta becomes stable within them, then they will be able to fulfill the heart wish of each and every mother sentient being.
제고도 선배게데 돈이 듬바게 디 토야게 돈달라 만주기 냠는 제야디 강토도 제야디 당아주기 데니기 전주기에다 만주기 당아주랑 사사리 데니기 퇴 년시 제비기 나주기 과정인보로 지가주디 니 소소소소게 삼다 냠는 제야디 디 차고로와 디 냠는 맞아봐나 아주기 이제 데네데네 요라세데 데 줌로버로 집어를 책마다 안에 가서 패스 가야 말해 지사다 지단데 개화를 퇴비게 개화 바차다 샤지 거디네 나저기 삼로 야게 저가 샤라 용 말와 대단 나저기 데니게 패삼 데니게 연된디게 삼다 왜 야고래 선비게 데 지수이라체 디나지 가야 야데네 주나 선비게 듬베게 디 요야게 돈달라 양한저게 베제 곰 두스제베나 당아주길에 림베림비게 야게 두고로와 데네 제베나 아주기다 지게 된다디 친인집에 된다디 닝보디 디두고로와 당서.
Meditating on the qualities of bodhicitta and of bodhisattvas is something we all need to do. The advice I'm giving here is advice I try and follow myself, and I encourage you to do the same. And it's important to meditate on these points that we've been covering and will continue to cover each week. If you don't, but you continue to come to class or watch the videos and receive the teachings, one is receiving imprints, and these are important. But your mind will not change. If it is your wish to not merely hear the words of the Dharma, but to cultivate the meaning in your heart, then you need to hear the teachings and reflect on them repeatedly over a sustained period. This remarkable human rebirth of this incredible intelligence that we've attained will not last forever. Whatever period we have left, we need to utilize it well, hearing and reflecting on the teachings. And the more that we put into both of these branches, hearing and reflecting, again and again, the more that we do so, the more we will get out. Always gathering new seeds through hearing and nourishing those seeds through repeated reflection. In this way, the words of the Dharma will start to grow within each of us and blossom into minds such as bodhicitta. So I encourage you to join me in this endeavor of hearing these words and repeatedly reflecting on their meaning.
다데네 자당 아주게 도스네 당 아주 삼다베네 다 덴디기 연된 통화제 징아주리네 지게 셈제 탐지게 산유고만 토야게 되는 전주샘 대징아주리 전주샘 끼리 끼어 말데 이내 당 아주게 지게 잠바로 제와로 닝제로 지되네 곰 안에 지게 셈제 탐지게 산유고만 토버쇼 시비게 곰바 있는데 데네 아주를 삼다베네 다들 배마서 자침부 휴치로와다 전주샘다 전주샘바데 자침부 휴치쳐도 니나신 안지기 레하로 지금 저기 고수제도 진행하지 지냠는 제바이나 근데 배마스비다는 자침부 심지어 탐지기 된다래 삼다디 딜레 계체 매바디 인자데 되네가 아주 고급 렌제 직 되네게 소소하게 귤이 똑바 귤이 깨매나야 될이야 두시는 공부에 공야디 배마스 자침부시는 공부 휴지 자치고 휴지 딜레 하바 나도 고매래 하바 딜레 하바지 매바로 최고로 받아가 주섬단 하바 매바로 와 제제 되네자 되네요 고매디다 무디오 공던데 딜레 야바 딜레 무디오 공마되네 아저게 차르지 니스든 지게 니메질 돈다질라 차지니세다 다오질라 차지요 되네 고매디 딜레 하바지 매르바 데심제 탐지게 된다 산제 고방도 배치도 공고로 디네자 딜레 하바지 매바 디네 저기 디네 공유주에 뱀마스 자침부지 휴이아 선배 딜레 하바지 고매매 진짜 다 디네 공고랑 아주 배야볼 선배 소소기 냠는 제바 될라야 지수 이나지야다 안지게 어제 소소소시네 네 디네게 제야도 고버 배야볼에 세디 먼저 뽑아기에다 두섬 당고에 되게 좀 차고로 와
Reflecting on these immeasurable benefits of bodhicitta that we've covered in this chapter will give rise to the wish to become a bodhisattva. And if one then thinks how remarkable it would be to be a person in whom love for all beings, compassion for all beings is ever present within oneself. And at the forefront of one's motivation, whatever one does, is the determination that through these thoughts, these activities of speech, I'll be creating the causes so that I can progress towards enlightenment and be of incredible benefit to each and every sentient being. When you think like this, we come to value bodhicitta in a new way, see it as so precious, see it as there being nothing as of value that's equal to this jewel of bodhicitta. We'd also recognize that this remarkable mind of bodhicitta is incredibly rare. We'll come to recognize how few people that we know are guided in this way, but how needed it is for beings to be near bodhisattvas, near someone who has their best interests at heart. As we reflect again and again on the benefits of bodhicitta, give rise to this yearning to be counted amongst bodhisattvas, to be working alongside fellow bodhisattvas for the welfare of all beings, we'll start to reprioritize what is important in our life. We'll be able to turn away from what really has no value. These current affairs and dramas that occupy our time and our energy, we will see them in their true light as insignificant. In this way, we'll open up time to be able to continue to hear and reflect and cultivate these valuable minds within us. And as we do so, and we start to experience some transformation, we'll recognize this, and that will give us confidence to continue. And as we do so, those around us will also recognize our transformation, and that will give us further confidence. And we'll see how we are now responding to life's challenges differently, and the impact that we have on others is not like it was before. And this too will give us confidence to continue. So there's this process that, to the extent that we can start and gain experience, we will be able to ever more easily apply ourselves to the cultivation of the path. But for this, we need to make concerted effort for a sustained period.
인자 디네서 다 나랑주 삼다나 다데 나랑줄이야 돈이 고미야다 잠니지 공부하데 가르치기를랍나 나랑줄이야 동반이 공부하데 잠니지 전주섬 고미야데 제체로시도 그래서네 잠니지 공 가져 공부에는 수식을 잠니지디 samla the nuba shu cherdo, and dela dene, and chig Janju Sem Guleke de nuba nyurdo orwa. Chisna di Janju Sem Guleke de lam Guleke orwa tanzo. Jamnije Magombajo, Tongbani Gom devena, Tongbani Gomne, Gombaine, the Tigbaro, Nyur Tichi Yungurete, lam Gule, Jamnije, Meju Magomna, lam Guleke, Tongbani Kazagomna, lam Guleke to Yame. Chisna lam Gula Magena, and Nanzugi, Ya, Tarva Tamji Mogoban to Merva, the Ninza, the Nessan Nanzugi do some Tavena, Dadi Nanzugi, Nekapla, Dadi Nekapla, Nanzugi, Tonyu Gumiada, Jamni, Jajusim Gumeda, Karkichi, Lan Nanzula, Jamni Gumiada, Jajusim Gumia, the Gecheru, Chagore. Tingarang is some to India, but it's not the Dinishima.
Furthermore, to give my own particular point of view, not something found in a text, is that for ourselves, those of us here, I would say, make it your primary meditation, the cultivation of love, compassion, and bodhicitta. Not even the wisdom realizing emptiness. And whilst cultivating the wisdom realizing emptiness is undoubtedly of great importance, really, I think for us, the cultivation of love and compassion and bodhicitta is more important, because it's through the cultivation of love, compassion, and bodhicitta, one nears the attainment of the paths of the bodhisattva, entering into the paths of the Mahayana, cultivating the paths of the Mahayana within us. This is of great importance. Meditating on the wisdom realizing emptiness certainly has many great benefits, such as weakening our afflictions, but it does not lead to the attainment of the paths of a bodhisattva. So therefore, I think for us, and again I emphasize this is my own personal opinion, we should focus on the cultivation of love, compassion, and bodhicitta, so that we become ever closer to generating this powerful, precious mind of bodhicitta.
Dinashe, the Dinya, Dalia, Jiki Yorba, Junjunala, the Judin doing the Judin Yabar Shindoka, the Judin Yabar Shindoka, Dinma, the Tipishi, Shuniva Ligri, as Junju, Galia, the Shiknia, Sonsaro, Shusarawa. Marasava me, Junju Nyama. Nema cha gyo le gang di le go dang dan zu shu ni ba de yong zine dal jo di ne nya par shin do ka ji bi de den du par che ba la gal de di la phe par ma do na chi de yang da jo wa ga la kyu se do wa oh de nya par shin do ka ji bi de den du par che ba la ane gal de di la phe par ma do na 치대야다 갈아줄 세대. 지난 된다 갈송 거서는 다대가 지금 류 된주 밀류 리모체 톱되어래 대이 때려 고급체기 지게 냠는지 고급디 다 예요 바래 샘징에 담지기 기비 되된디 하나 지게 된다데 가래라나 고유 동안에 자세 탈바 탐지 기비고 톱이야 탈둑디 탐지 기비고 톱래 내가 안에 가서 탈비고 받아 안에 지게 하나 지게 개와 타다 미고가 토발 집에 되니기 토발 치고 그래. 제단 고고 줘봐 치고 그래. 제단 되니기자 다들 아주 된디를 톱되기 뉴된디 톱되 받을야 아주기 곰제 펜바지 주마도 냠는 제마도 봐 있나? 안에 냠는 맞제 바제 시도 봐 있나? 근데 마오바나 되니기 된 뉴된디 톱야기 매봐요 말했어. 제단 되니자 냠는 제 고브라기 막 고고 쇼그리 했어지. 송고로 와다.
The fourth verse in the chapter sits very well here. The fourth verse was, these freedoms and endowments so difficult to attain can fulfill the purpose of beings. If I do not accomplish this life's potential, when could such an excellent opportunity be achieved again? See, since between then and now we've heard about so many benefits of the mind of bodhicitta, as well as those who possess that mind, the bodhisattvas. So I would imagine for all of us here, we have some interest in cultivating this mind to be bodhisattvas ourselves. And that is this life's potential. That is a potential that rests within the hands of all of us. There's no one here for whom the attainment of bodhicitta is too difficult. This potential is something we can all accomplish. And through the accomplishing of this potential, we can fulfill the purpose of beings. The purpose of beings refers to guiding beings so that they can attain their freedom from suffering, so that they can attain a state of lasting happiness. So by us achieving our life's potential, by becoming bodhisattvas ourselves, we can become a guiding light to others. We can guide others so that they too can attain a state freed of suffering. But we need to apply ourselves to this consistently from right now, because what is certain is that the time will come when this life has ended. Our opportunity is finite. And therefore, we should not delay any further, allow our time to be consumed through procrastination and distraction, but rather apply ourselves wholeheartedly to fulfill our individual potential, our human potential. All of us can do that. We all can do that in this life. Fulfill the potential, our own potential, and thereby fulfill the purpose of beings.
Dene zada ngara zuge samdaya de disna yure da ngara zuda ngara zug luden de danju luden da diring topte badi be masel luden yakbo shushi rasha smbe topshas dene zada ngara zuge luden yakbo danju luden dawa kedan jowa jusa luden topte bari dene zada ngara zug nyamlen je ko gab ye de ba düzü ye de ko komba zada ngara zuge dingi chane na soso an nyamlen je ko gab ye badi be yakbo jungsha smbegi 소식이 안 가와고미하다. 디네 공부할때네 다 디링의 루딘 디 때려야 즉 냠는 잠니제 자주샘 공미하되 공투고 디네 그 마공 바나다 안에 다들 공마도 바나 제마 공세디 다들 뭐 공마든 제마 공세 제마티 디네기 토부 위에나면나 갈래하고로 와세자 하고야 마치다 다들 고급 유리가 공기 셈비기다 디네 공미하라와디 배하고래샤 삼지양 아주기 두삼다제 아니 지금 대주주바나시 땅아 저게 랑치세 삼로딜레 야데 응 저게 왕아마네 소소게데 게디나 랑치세랑 아랑 디기고도 나랑에 강아 세고도 나라자야 삼다제 디기에네 다데 봐도 코와도 사제샤 지상 디양야 삼다데 디기민도 제사다 랑레 파 셴디 제바진제 셴디라고 디기 주주고도 셴둥아 세고도 셴이 된다라야 이 깔레가제 겸나 잡긴 삼베 삼다제 근데네 자당아 저게 셈자 담제 대화데 대마쇼 셈베 제 니제곰 아니 잠바곰 셈자 담제 동화다 자와쇼 셈베 니제곰 데네 셈자 담제 대화데 대마다 동화다 자와다 니지기 셈베게 다 하삼되곰 데네 지네네 니 셈자 담제게도나 데네 제발라다 니 산지고 마마토나다 니 데네기 지기 데네 죽투야민도 제사 다초 셈자 담제게 펜버두에게 탑초도 규바데다 산지고 바르샤데 산지고 바토버쇼 셈베게다 데네기 곰제아도 제치도 데네 야네 아도 곰야디 삼다레 데네게 삼단다 데네 곰야라와데 베 야고레야 셈베게 소소 고갑 야고 딜레 하와지다 셈게체와 전주 셈메 하와지 곰바메 톱자 안에 타도바 안에 산지고 방 디토바처데 딜레 하와지메 디도베치도 곰고레 안에 현륜지에게 셴 셈전 탐제래 셈전 가시지만 봐 셈전 탐제기 된다 삼다 공고를 때 네디네 고메야데 빼 야고래 다 디네 고메야라도 고급 야고 디링 디네 인셈베게다 소수인 소수게 즉 가와 고메야다 닝도께야다 루시네 삼다제 고메야데 땅아 주게다 지게 나도 샤사 지바데 나도 캐바요 지바지기하러 와다 디네긴 땅아라에 되는 공고를 경험제 되는 공을 샤사 되는 공고를 이내 레로세 디베 슈체라샤네 레로디기 디네게 용무다
So So you can use this fourth verse in your meditation to develop a determination and strength of mind. These freedoms and endowments so difficult to attain can fulfill the purpose of beings. If I do not accomplish this life's potential, when could such an excellent opportunity be achieved again? Because everyone here has attained a precious human rebirth, a precious human rebirth marked by the complete freedoms and endowments. Recognizing this, rejoice in the result of the causes that you accumulated in past lives. But then also recognize the great value of what you have. This is nothing to be complacent about, but rather to utilize well. Because if we don't utilize this opportunity well right now, how can we have any confidence that later, next week, next month, next year, all my circumstances will come together magically, and then I have time? Right now is all that we have for certain. Use it well. And use this part of the meditation to rejoice in what you've achieved and cultivate a determination to use your time right now well. And in this way, you can push away from the distractions that arise in your mind and focus on your meditation. Reflecting, as mentioned earlier, first on the faults of the self-cherishing mind, placing oneself and one's own interests, the fulfillment of one's own interests, first and foremost. And look at this deeply, how it keeps guiding us into suffering. And thereafter, reflect on the qualities of the other cherishing mind. How if this was guiding us, if we were putting the needs of countless beings before our own, how we would be creating the causes for happiness. In this way, come to recognize how the self-cherishing mind just causes harm, but the other cherishing mind, this brings real benefit. Reflect on this further, developing the wish into, may all beings be happy. Each and every being abide in lasting happiness. And may they thereby be freed of all suffering experiences. May they never have to experience the arisal of an affliction or any form of unwanted experience. Develop these minds of love and compassion further to beings need to be guided. There are those in my life I recognize now who do not have the guidance that I've received from my teachers. I need to be able to have this impact on them. I need to ensure that I don't add to the suffering in their life. I don't act in ways that lead to the arisal of afflictions, but rather that I skillfully guide them in the cultivation of the causes for happiness. But the truth is, right now, I don't really know how to do that, and they probably wouldn't be receptive to me because I'm not yet developed enough. I have to become a Buddha. I have to become a Buddha for their sake. Therefore, I commit to striving for enlightenment. So in this way, then, we generate bodhicitta. And here, then, in the meditation, I encourage you also to rejoice again. Rejoicing is important. We looked at this last week. And it's important because it makes your mind joyous. You take delight in what you're doing. And this is important because it adds confidence by recognizing what we are doing in our cultivation of our skills. This gives us encouragement to continue further, recognizing that bodhicitta is coming closer. This does lead to confidence that I can do this. And we need the strength of mind to continue to cultivate these new habits, these habits of virtuous minds. And we also need this confidence so as to turn ourselves away from distraction and any other harmful or destructive or limiting habits that we have. So rejoice in what you've achieved in this precious human rebirth and rejoice in how you are using it well. This will help you to develop and sustain a meditation practice.
Geti sembege das demba sanje jumne de range lamegi geti sembege da geti lama da sanje ge geti jesu chaya da das denegi tene sosuge 직 타면 개와사 샤바디 개와디 아니 상기 템바 윤두네 내바세야다 라미 꾸제 템바세야다 아니 직 셈젠 탐질레 디규 용화 zemli kunle 시디오 용화 아니 징에 셈젠 탐제 상제고 뭐 뉴로 고 투비게 gyurgyuwa shuwa sede ngowa gyabiyada, ondu sinu ngowa gyabiyare, anjigi je lama sangye da diniliya, anjigi suedep jeyare, ndi jik dukchi nga jugi jige jeyade, da nga ju gechi mura chagorwa, da nga ju nyamlenle jarne, sosugi nyamlen dukchi ne jegugorwa, da nga ju chasang.
When you, a third time, to generate a mind of rejoicing and joy is when you're coming to conclude your meditation. So there, just before you dedicate, rejoice in the causes you've created that have led you to connect to this remarkable lineage that has gone from Buddha Shakyamuni through these incredible teachers right down to one's own spiritual teacher. Rejoice in this, and rejoice in their good qualities that they have cultivated within them in order to benefit all sentient beings. Those good qualities that you now, as one of those suffering sentient beings, are experiencing the benefit of. So rejoicing in not just in your own good fortune or your own good qualities to have met this lineage, but rejoice in the good qualities and the kindness of one's teachers. And thereafter, as you about to embark in your your dedications, generate the determination to be part of those who act in a way that is compatible with or is in accordance with one's teachers and the lineage, the great lamas' heart wish. In other words, make the determination that you'll do all that you can to alleviate the suffering of beings, to alleviate the suffering within your own continuum, as well as through your interactions with others, to alleviate the suffering of others, and at the very best, not to add to their suffering. And moreover, to commit to continuing to strive, to cultivate those same qualities that have been brought to life by your teacher, to cultivate those same qualities within yourself. Thereafter, dedicate that so that all beings come under the joyous care of fully qualified Mahayana spiritual teachers and cultivate bodhicitta in their own continuums.
Rani rangi guen, rani rangi jaya so. Soso rana soso guen chagri, soso rana soso jaya chagri lare. Jada nyese guen, guen japsa chorwa, soso rani guen re, soso rani jare. Karasi orson, Karsun Gorson, Dondala, Karson, soso rangi denigi, kiwi, samlo, nyamlo, soso rangi jikpa, dumbakie, dunyerke, soso rangi, and chikorto boba keje an jesu iranche yo gom nyamle chebana soso ani gangale tarje digi dingi dewa toya ya toptugo ore jesa soso ransam도 soso rangi gwen chagore karasne ko gangale pa gyokwen gwen chagore jere da soso ransamdana digi soso ya chikshal chewe sambada jobang ambada nyebe samba dan samba kebaina kongro ke deni samla kebaina soso rangi deni samla tambaina dine tawe jingi ran makiwa chaya ane jige gewa chimayi naya wanson gehoya di chagwa jizadi susuge samlo tangtangi tonen ganga chigoro was jizan susuge yagudu samtana ya rugore susuge samlo ngambe tane du rugore jizadi susu samlo la rale yo resi ori tsungoro wad jizadan dine zangan zugi duchine gewi samlo diyo deshi sheba na gomgoya di gechi murese chagoro wa.
There's a famous expression by the Buddha where he said that we are our own worst enemy and we are also our own best friend. So we are our own worst enemy in that beings tend to keep creating causes that will lead to further suffering. Despite wanting happiness, we keep acting in ways that create causes for ongoing suffering, and potentially even falling into the lower realms. And this all comes about from a mistaken way of thinking. So in this way, we are our own worst enemy. But so too can we be our own best friend, in that through cultivating the minds of the Dharma within ourselves, developing this wisdom that ensures that we act in accordance with virtue and not in accordance with the afflictions. In this way, to the extent we cultivate the minds of the Dharma within us, we protect ourselves from suffering. And not only do we protect ourselves from suffering, but we are actually at the same time cultivating the paths that will lead to liberation and enlightenment. So in this way, we do have the potential to radically transform our situation, become our own best friend through transforming our mind, through cultivating the Dharma within. Then thank you very much, and we can conclude there for tonight. Thank you.